How the heck do adults make friends? After high school, I've only been able to make friends through work. One of my best friends is my coworker. Same here. I have an awesome group of friends among my team at work. The one thing that sucks about this strategy is when your actual work becomes extremely toxic and you hate your job. Leaving is harder because you're not just leaving your job but your friends and support system as well. Sort of the situation I'm in. Extremely overworked and burned out. Upper management keeps shitting on us. I could quit but I worry I would then drift away from everyone since they're still hanging at work every day and I am somewhere else. Get involved, volunteer, take up a hobby, attend events, etc. Also, it seems to be a dying tradition, but talk to your neighbors. Most importantly, remember that at least half of all adults are in the same situation you are, so you'll be surprised how many people accept invitations. Going to hobby clubs, volunteering, etc. are great ways to meet people, but you may also find that you just end up sort of just knowing everyone there at an acquaintance level. I think for many people there is still the question of how do you turn those people into proper friends. I really feel like you need to make an additional effort when at these social hub type places to specifically befriend people. Invite them to things. Get them to hang out away from the event. I feel like friendship proper doesn't begin until you start hanging out together away from the context that caused you to originally meet. If anybody invites you to anything, go. You want to be more than just that person who volunteers with me sometimes or that person I exchanged a few words with at the book club. I actually recently managed to do this. To paint the picture, I don't have many friends, never had, and don't really need many. I'd rather have a few close ones than many sort of friends. There's this girl, okay woman, we're both 30 so it's about time I call ourselves women. I play field hockey with. Been playing together for about 10 years and always friendly at hockey but never initiated anything outside that. Then, she breaks up with her boyfriend. She's clearly a bit upset, lonely, needs to get her mind off it, so she asks if I want to hang out. Wasn't really feeling it, felt awkward, it's just not my thing. We never did it. I already made a million excuses in my mind, but I ended up saying yes because I like her and I wanted to help her. It ended up being a great decision. Fast forward 2 years later and we speak nearly daily, play games together. We found a shared interest outside our original common ground and I love it. I don't have many close friends but I consider her one. Moral of the story, ask someone to hang out outside your normal meeting place. Something as simple as going for a coffee can be enough to start a friendship, and if you're asked, say yes even if your first instinct might be to say number. Worst case scenario, you grab the coffee with someone that turns out to not be a good match. Best case scenario, you have found a friend for life. Making friends as adults is hard and this is the first friend I made since I was 18 and began uni. All I need to do now is discover how to find a SO without the use of Tinder and such because that creates way too much social anxiety for me. Worst case scenario, you grab the coffee with someone that turns out to not be a good match. Best case scenario, you have found a friend for life. For me in that worst case scenario, I can see myself running to the bathroom and not making it. My bowels already get irritable when I am nervous. The thought of drinking laxatives with someone when trying to get to know them terrifies me. It's always awkward when someone asks if I want to get coffee. I've heard there's a website called Adult Friend Finder. My wife wanted to meet new friends about 10 or 12 years ago. I think it was Friendster she joined. I told her that was not where you go to meet platonic friends. She told me I was crazy. Don't be weird. She already met this really cool girl who wanted to be friends. I said okay, whatever. She closed her account and told me her new friend started hitting on her and getting all sexual. Find a social hobby with a group that gets together once a week for a few hours, role-playing games, sports, knitting circles, walking groups, etc. Getting together in person may be dicey currently with COVID, but RPGs are where I've made long-term friend groups in 2 cities. It may take a year before you start clicking with people and do stuff outside the group together, and you may end up better friends with someone different that you initially expected, but it works. For socialization, time is why we seem better at making friends as kids. We were stuck together for long enough that we made friends with neighbors and in school, etc. with great difficulty. The secret to making friends is definitely shared interests and groups, but it also involves asking people about their lives and listening. The best way to start a friendship is to do something after your shared interests. Spur of the moment, I am going to grab a coffee, beer, tacos, want to come with. It's less pressure if it's close by and they don't have to make extra effort. Another good way is if you know they are skilled or knowledgeable about something. Ask for their help or advice. There's some research that shows helping someone creates a social bond from the helper to the helpee. I've made friends at the gym, friends at Hobbies, friends at work, and friends through friends. Don't worry about age. I have friends 10-15 years older or younger. I would say also be very mindful about what your company offers others and what their company offers you. I have found unfortunately more often than not adults who are looking for friends are not happy in some area of their life and they are looking for friendship to fix it. Many of the adults I've met looking for friendship are looking for someone to complain to, and I find that really drags me down. Part of being an adult is fixing your own problems and not expecting much from others. Again, I mean this from a nice place, and I hope it doesn't sound mean, and I include myself in this statement as well. As an adult, it's probably more constructive and productive to have a therapist and keep a few friends in your life to do fun things with. I am not directing this at you specifically, just a general note for anyone reading. It's a sad world to live in if you think all people over a certain age open to friendship are trying to take advantage. The more friends you make, the more choice you have in which ones you want to keep forever. It's a process to get to know if a friend is a long-haul friend or a short-term friend or acquaintance. There are times in everyone's life when you need extra support from your friends in addition to therapy, as long as it's a two-way street. Occasional unevenness from both parties is a part of the deal, and it often deepens the bond, especially if you recognize the support with kindness and gratitude. If you have no interest in friends' life and listening to them, they are not a friend, they are an acquaintance. Making friends is extremely unlikely to just happen unless you put yourself in situations where other people are also open to making new friends. That means you need to go to social activities where you may not know many if any people. The good news is that there are plenty of these activities going around in most decently sized cities. Look up sports leagues. There's probably a bunch of them. Find a hobby that involves meeting in groups. Go to meetup.com and find some groups that are interesting to you. Now this is basically what everyone tells you, and it's 100% true, but let me add some more concrete advice that I found helped me. I moved to a different continent 3 years ago, so I started over at 0 friends. When you go to these events, either try to figure out if there is a group chat and join it, or set up a group chat. It'll just be for that activity initially, but every now and then you can throw in anyone want to grab some food before the meetup tonight, or you guys got plans this weekend. Been wanting to see the new King Kong movie, if anyone wants to join. My group of friends I hang out with the most started as a random group chat. Beckway's a random dude I met invited me to the beach with him that weekend, and I basically just used that group chat to shoot the shit with them and ask anyone going out this weekend, etc. You'll feel kinda pushy and needy to begin with, but honestly it's needed in moderation in the beginning. Most people aren't great at just inviting random people they just met to their events unprompted, but asking in a group chat is fairly low-key and people can chime in with offers if they feel like it. Also, final advice that I lived by: the first 6 months of living here I never said no to any offer to socialize if they were people I was interested in hanging out with. I generally hate going out on weekdays, but people only ask you so many times if you want to join them, therefore they assume you're not interested until your friendship is a bit more solidified. I decided to just go do anything, even if it sounded like something I wouldn't like. You find people based on shared interests and in social, communal spaces. You like hiking? Join a hiking group and befriend people in it. You like dancing? Join a local salsa group and befriend the people in it. You like a sports team? Find a local pub or bar that is the home of that team and shows their games and start going there and meet fellow fans. You can also make friends at work functions, church functions, neighbors who are chill, etc. Everyone is saying work and hobbies. Not sure that is it. Work is virtual for most. This means no coffee talks or water cooler chatter. And I do cross-training and several hobbies. It seems everyone wants to stick to themselves. At the gym it's great, but afterwards, nothing. I am super outgoing and am still struggling. In our new COVID world, how do you make friends as an adult? I seriously need help in this area. It really is Hobbies. I rock climb and have made several friends through it. People stick to themselves, but are usually more than willing to talk if you ask a question. I was asking for beta once and then we started climbing together. The other came up and asked me about my tattoos, and now we see each other weekly. There are a few more where we were just watching someone solve a problem together while chatting. People want to talk, just talk to them. If you see someone at the gym doing something you want to do, just ask about form, a spot, or if they can walk you through it. They will almost certainly be cool with it. Work. That's where 90% of your acquaintances come from. Then, out of those acquaintances, only your loyalty will talk to you outside work. Those are your friends. Out of those acquaintances, only your loyalty will talk to you outside work. I am the disloyal acquaintance and can confirm that after I leave the office building and get in my car to go home for the day, I don't want to hear from you until I get back into the office the next business day. For some reason, hanging out with coworkers outside work has never really appealed to me. Laughing. Yikes. That's me at my current office job. Back in my fast food days though, I used to have all my coworkers on social media except the super older and more superior people. We would meet up to get high or watch movies together. To this day, my fast food friends are still there for me. But yeah, I feel like relationships at office jobs are more distant, to be honest, especially now that I work remote. Might not be the answer you're looking for, but honestly, anyone is lucky to have at least 10 actual friends in their life. Having someone in your life who's an actual friend takes years to develop, but if it's to just meet people in general, I'd say try the app Bumble. There's a feature on there called BFF, I think, and it's literally meant for guys to meet other guys or girls to meet other girls as a friend basis. Not dating at all, just someone to hang out with and shoot the shit. Could end up being a friend later down the road, who knows? I think there is a connection between this question and the attitude I see with younger people about no random spontaneous visits, only pre-planned time together. You spend time with people in person, no phone. You do this to learn who you enjoy just spending time with, maybe sharing a hobby, maybe just shooting the shit. Go out and interact with people. I made friends in my building simply doing stuff like pushing a neighbor's car out of the snow, which led to a good friendship with her son, by chatting with neighbors randomly and building a relationship. I make friends by being open and friendly and helpful. It means there are a lot of people who like me that I don't care about on a deep level. But I have a lot of good friends in my life. Ironically, I am somebody who is fine being alone most of the time and gets annoyed if I have to give up too much alone time in general without actually being an introvert, just chance. Honestly, being kind or just doing something in a social space. I moved to my city during the pandemic, so making friends wasn't really possible for a while. When stuff opened up, I found a nice neighborhood bar. I'd go there a few times a week for a drink or food by myself, bring a book or crossword puzzles, newspaper, etc., and just sat and enjoyed my own company. I never got through an entire puzzle or read more than 10 pages before someone else would come up and sit at my table. And bumming cigarettes worked. LOL. Go out and interact is basically what makes connections. There isn't a magic answer or complicated way to do it. It's just about creating the opportunity. I am introverted usually, so I am okay hanging out with just myself. But some people, like the friends I made at my local pub, are extroverts and can chat with anyone and like to talk to others. Creates a nice balance. They're good people and I am glad I put myself out there instead of just sitting in my apartment. Yes, from the outside it's like a catch-22. I have to be comfortable and confident being alone to make friends. Yes, make yourself available to others and they'll open up to you. Maybe it's so hard these days because it's not something you do with your head. There's aren't steps or instructions. You can make a plan to make a friend. It's something you do with your body and your heart. Putting yourself out there, thinking about it just gets in the way. Find the adults who have the same sense of humor as you. Then you know you're both really just grown children and can get along. It's a life lesson from grade school. Then just avoid the ones who don't have the same sense of humor. But how do you find people with your same sense of humor? Is it recommended to just go to a random place and start making jokes to yourself hoping someone will notice? Being really sincere here, I work at home and don't want to be friends with coworkers cause that always becomes a problem when they try to get too close. Join conversation and crack a joke. If you really want to speed up the process, make a super dry joke or whatever your sense of humor is and weed out the ones who don't laugh. The ones who laugh can handle you when you're the funniest. LOL. 6 times in my life, I have made the life-wrenching move to a new community where I knew no one. Alone. Okay, once it was with my fiancé wife, but I wound up alone there too, so I think it counts. In each new place, I have made new friends through work or tennis, my primary interests. Now I am retired, moved to Florida, leaving after a 26-year relationship. Thanks to COVID, I have been isolating like an Essene for an entire year. Double masking. 2. I am the only one I know who does. On the UCLA loneliness gauge, average. I am rated off the scale extreme. I know that solitude is a state that one can become comfortable and familiar with. Although it's hard to acknowledge you don't have really anyone in your life who is close anymore. My strategy this time is the same. I've made good friends and acquaintances with neighbors and tennis partners. Things like meetup events are daunting for the chronically shy. Though, here's this group of people focused on the beach and one another looking like a close-knit family reunion or something. Can't just walk up there and barge in, so I'll sit way over there by myself. It's still a nice environment. The vastness of the ocean, the subtle roar of constant waves. One must learn to harvest joy in the moment and hide the emptiness inside. I see this question here a concerning amount of times, and I am worried for all of us. It also seems to me that the typical answer is you don't or that you can't. I think a key feature of these questions and the responses is the fact that it requires action. Make friends by taking an active role. Nobody asks how do adults wait for friendships to form. It is scary to be the person taking action. We are always concerned that out actions end up fruitless, but keeping a mindset that other people would probably like to have a friend as well takes some of the fear away. Of all the things I wish fear of missing out addressed, it was the rest of missing out on meaningful relationships by being afraid of faking the first move. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.